Okay, hello and welcome back, everybody. This is episode number 5. Episode number 5 of our Football Manager 2017 Big Six experiment. And now, looks as though, there we go. We have more sales. Liverpool are clearing out. I mean, Joel Campbell, who they only just picked up off Arsenal, I think they've sold him for a loss to Swansea. Danny Ward, they've made a decent sale to Leeds for. And Roberto Firmino has gone to Southampton for 21 million. So Liverpool have made an awful lot of money. But does that mean that it's going to slow them down going forward? Or are they going to play it smart and sign the right players each season to get promoted and then go into the Premier League with a buttload of cash? Or are they just going to go for it like some of the others seem to be? Man City have made a couple of signings, but they haven't done an awful lot. Chelsea had a few, Arsenal had a few, and United had a few. So the ones who are actually making the signings seem to be the ones who are going that little bit faster. But is that going to end up bringing them to a sudden halt at some point, maybe in the Championship, or maybe when they first get back into the Premier League? Are they going to be in trouble in their first season? We've got it all to look forward to, guys. I mean, it's looking really good at the moment. Right now, it's only the 2nd of July. We've got to kick on with the season, so let's have a little look at what the other 4 teams have done in their transfer activity. Okay, so Chelsea have cleared out. Monaco have got Iniacho, Batshuayi has gone to Derby, and Tottenham have sold Alderweireld to Leicester. Victor Moses to Swansea, and these are pretty low prices as well, some of these. I mean, Solanke to Cardiff for just a few hundred K. I mean, Rochdale are making some sales. Mind, they could be one to look out for. But I see Tottenham have already let the one go. So my initial favourite to win League 2 this season would be Tottenham. Let's have a look at Arsenal United, who are up in League 1 now. Okay, so there we go. Arsenal are the only ones to let anybody go, really. They have let Petr Cech go to Crystal Palace for just $1 million. I mean, looking at that, that's no major surprise coming towards the end of his career. Crystal Palace finished quite well last season, so you'd have thought a younger, fresh keeper, or maybe they just need the experience in between the sticks. But anyway, that's enough of the transfers. I think it's time to kick on with the season. We will take it to the end of the transfer window where we'll pick up on who goes where by then. Okay, so on the 2nd of September, we are 5 games in, and it seems Liverpool, well, it doesn't seem, but Liverpool are top. And Man City lost to Liverpool, but this is basically how the season will finish. Liverpool or Man City will finish first, and either or will finish second. Obviously, it's difficult to tell who will get through the playoffs, but whoever doesn't win the league will win the playoffs. It's going to take something pretty damn mental to prevent it. Now, here's an interesting twist. Now, we thought the reputation of the competition, where it jumped up because of the presence of the teams, it's dropped down to one below what it was before. Now, I don't get that, because there's still 2 really big teams, unless their reputations have dropped so much that it doesn't matter. But to go below what it was, that's a strange one for me. But anyway, let's have a look at their transfers. Has there been any further transfers? Now, Dele Alli has gone from Man City to Madrid. Gundogan's gone back to Dortmund. Gabriel Jesus has gone to Chelsea, just a division above. Wow. Obviously, we knew about Firmino. Sané's gone to Atletico Madrid. This is probably why why Man City are behind Liverpool. But look, Liverpool have even sold a load of players. They can have an absolute shite ton of money between them, these 2 teams, going up. Because all these players would have been on big, big wages. And the players who they got left behind would be pretty much their youngsters and their fringe players. So this is going to take a real interesting turn, because they've got to sign the right players as they go up, because they can't just rely on their youngsters. But we will at some point have a little look at each individual team to see what players they do have at the moment. Because as you can see here, they haven't really been bringing them in. But anyway, let's go up to League 2 and see how the others are doing there. Chelsea and Tottenham. Okay, so this is interesting now. Tottenham lost at home to Carlisle. Maybe it's taking its toll a little bit. I mean, Tottenham lost at home to Carlisle. They're only in 6th, but they do have a game in hand which will take them into the top 3. Chelsea are not top, but they're only 5 games in. They lost at home to Tottenham. Newport County are pushing for playoffs. There we go. Happy days. Let's see if they drive up. Reputation has dropped back down. So, yeah, it's all taking a dip. But these big teams, where the reputations have gone up, these big teams are still there. I don't get why it's gone back down. Or in the conference's case, why it's gone down even further than it was before. It's a strange one. Really, really strange. But there we go. Transfers. Now, wow. Chelsea have just sold up, haven't they? What? But they've made some amount of money. But the players have gone on the cheap. Courtois got the Napoli for 18.5 million. You know, I mean, in 2018, you could put a 0 on the end of that, and that's how much he'd go for. But they've brought in Jesus, who's going to just completely destroy this league, I think. Tottenham have sold a few. A lot of their younger players have gone, but they've made a fair bit of money on them. So I can't see where they would have signed anybody. So, like I say, an awful lot of money, an awful lot of money that they're going to be making. Is it going to give them what they need when they do eventually make it back to the Premier League? Let's have a look at League One and Arsenal and Man United. Okay, so a bit more what we would expect, although Man United have drawn 2 games, one against Arsenal, one against Swindon at home. Arsenal have drawn against Walsall and Oldham. I mean, they're up there, but looking at that, the early part, it's as if they, they're embedding and becoming like a regular part, just a front runner for the league, not an outright, superior. The competition dropped from 43rd to 46th and then back up to 44th with the presence of Man United and Arsenal. Maybe because they're that bit further forward, maybe their reputations aren't so far down. Let's have a look at the transfer activity here, because it's been quite staggering in the other divisions. So United have lost David De Gea now. Rob Holding, don't know who you are, but Arsenal are the sellers here. Man United haven't really sold much, so I think Man United have sold an awful lot of their players. Tell you what, right? Let's just do it now. We're going to have a look at the transfer activity of all the teams in a little bit more depth. Let's just do it now. We don't transfer history is what we want. So players in, they bring in frees. They bring in players in for free, bastions, so they're letting players go for free as well. But they're selling like De Gea there. So an awful lot left them last season. So they've made 51 million there. So back here they've made 25 million and spent nothing. There they didn't bring anyone in at all. Season before they made 11 million and that was it. So they haven't sold up loads of their players. Let's have a little overview. Not overview, sorry. Senior squad. Just to see who they've still got. So they've still got Bailly, Shaw, Smalling, Rojo, Blind. Yeah, so they're doing okay. Keeping a lot of good players. Martial, Pogba is still there. Geez, unhappy. No surprise. Mkhitaryan, Rooney, Rashford. So they got the players that are going to take them up with ease, I think. Let's have a look at Arsenal. Okay, so there we go. Arsenal made 13.25 million this season. Haven't brought anybody in. Go back a season. Oh, went too far there. Back a season, they brought in Lallana, but I'm sure they ended up selling him, didn't they? Lallana. In the end. Or they may still have him. They made 81 million there. Wow. First season, then they made 42.5. So they've made like well over 100, well over 100 million in their senior squad. So they've still got David Ospina, Debussy, Bellerin, Koscielny, Granit Xhaka, Aaron Ramsey, Ozil, Lallana. They still got. I thought they'd sold him for some reason. Oxlade, Chamberlain, Welbeck, Alexis Sanchez. So even though they've made a lot of money, they've still got a very, very good team there. So let's have a little look back at Chelsea and Tottenham. So there you go. Chelsea haven't really let anybody go this season. I know that was season 1. Let's catch him up, back up. Go right to the back. They've made 112 million and spent 25. 157 million, but spent 74. So they're still spending a lot of money, but they're selling up big time. Eden Hazard went for 48 million there. And in season 1, all they did was loan 8, but didn't bring anyone in. Let's have a little look at their team. So who have they still got playing for them? So they still picked, where they picked up Pepe for free, that was good. So they've still got Begovic, so that's a cracking keeper to have at this level. So Matteo Darmian, they've still got Phil Jones. So they bought off United Kurt Zouma and Pepe, Matic, Fabregas, N'Golo Kante, Iwobi. They obviously picked up off Arsenal. Kennedy, Willian, and Gabriel Jesus, Tammy Abraham as well. So yeah, like I say, they kept enough to get themselves promoted pretty quickly. Let's have a look at Tottenham. Okay, so Tottenham, they brought in a lot of players on a free, which is pretty smart of them, because there's a couple of decent names like Subotic, for example, Ryan Fraser, Bangura, Stuart Armstrong. So they picked up some good players that's going to help them along the way, and made 44 million. So they got a team good enough to compete in this league. I mean, Valbuena as well. A team good enough to compete in the league, and they're making money as they go along. 44 million this time round. So Junior Stanislas as Zucchini, good enough, plus made 142 million. And then obviously made 23 million in season 1. So Tottenham have made an awful lot of money, but have been reinforcing their squad. So that's quite interesting. So you look at their team, and they do have a good team. Looking at it, still got Christian Eriksen and Musa Sissoko, Bangura, they got Valbuena, Danny Rose, Carl Walker, Subotic, Kevin Wimmer, Eric Dyer, Hugo Lloris. So Tottenham have still got a great team. They've been reinforcing the team the last 2 seasons and making an absolute shed load of cash. So 2 more teams to look at down in the conference. Okay, so Liverpool, they've made 22 million and they've sold up a few players. Oh no, that was season 1. Keep getting that messed up. So look at this now. Liverpool have brought in some players on a free. So they're doing the Tottenham thing, yeah? They've let some players go and they've made 60 million this window. So last season they made 133 million and picked up 2 good Arsenal players on the cheap. So here we go. 133 million. Then into season 1 they made 22 million without bringing anyone in. Let's have a little look at their squad right now. So still got Mignolet, Sacco, Matip, Gibbs, Henderson, Gruitch. You can see a couple of the youngsters like Chirivella have come through. There's got Wijnaldum. Ojo's obviously a good youngster. Robson Carnu's obviously a good player to have at this level. Churchy, Sturridge. Yeah, they're gonna smash this league. I think I got a feeling Liverpool may win this league with that team. But let's look at the final team that we need to look at. And that team obviously is Manchester City. So they've made, in their first season, they made 6.5 million. So take it back up the year now. Picked up Stephen Ward on a free. And they've made 118 million. 153 million they made, but they spent 84. Kane, Ali, Chan, Marcus Alonso, and Lamella. So I think, did they sell any of them in the end? I'm sure they did sell someone. I think it might have been Dele Alli. Yeah, they sold Dele Alli. So they sold a lot I mean, let's go back to season 1. They only made a couple of million, but I think I'm regretting saying that about Liverpool are gonna win the league, because you look at who they've got still. Man City, they've still got Harry Kane, still got Raheem Sterling, Lamela, Chan, Alonso, Maffeo, Mari, Jason Denayer, John Stones, Claudio Bravo. Yeah, they've still got a cracking team there for Man City. I think that they'll probably go on and actually win that league. I'm going to change my mind, I think. But let's go and see how they're getting on at the end of November. Okay, so at the end of November, we're going to quickly skip over this. This episode has gone on for a little while, so Liverpool are leading the way. Man City have lost. They lost at home to Bromley. Wow. Liverpool drew at Tamworth. So you see the cracks in these teams ever so slightly. Let's have a quick look at the player overview. The top scorer in this division is, of course, Harry Kane. Most assists is actually not one of their players, well, one of the main players. Most clean sheets is Simon Mignolet, but that's pretty much it. Quite surprisingly, I can't think who that might be. I think that might be Eastleigh. Yeah, somebody not from Liverpool or Man City is the leading assist contributor. Wow. Anyway, let's go to League Two and see Chelsea and Tottenham and how they're getting on. Okay, so this is interesting. Chelsea got an 8-point gap with the game in hand. That's about right. Well, actually, looking at it, they've only lost the one, and that was against Tottenham. But Tottenham have got a hell of a lot of games in hand. I'm wondering why they've got so many games in hand. That's quite crazy. I mean, they must be on some sort of cup run. League Cup, maybe? Possibly. Let's have a little look. So that'll be it. Tottenham are actually in the Euro Cup. They must have had a good run in the cup. I can't remember whether did they win the cup last year or something. They must have won something last year to get into Europe, and it must have been the FA Cup, because they went straight into the first round. No, not the EFL Cup. What am I on about? I'm going bloody mental. I am. Straight into the groups. Straight into the groups. They must have won the FA Cup. And did I show you the cup winners last year? I may have missed that. I'll tell you what, I'll look back over my episodes, and if I missed it, we'll have a quick look in the next episode. Just a quick one though. But I've got to push on, and I've got to do the players in this, and then right. So Igor Conrado of Chelsea is the top scorer. Most assists, Christian Eriksen, of course. Begovic, most clean sheets. So yeah, this pretty much going how it should go. Tottenham, when they get their games in hand, will end up being in the top 3. I'm certain of it. Okay, so pretty much as expected, Man United and Arsenal top 2. A few draws, no losses. Doesn't really matter who wins the league and who doesn't. Both of these teams will be in the Championship next season. Let's have a little look at the player stats. Player overview. Mkhitaryan's top scorer is all dominated by Man United and Arsenal. So Man United and Arsenal being the first 2 teams out, I think they are going to be the 2 better teams in the Premier League. But you never know. I mean, in the lower leagues, still earning a lot of money. You never know what kind of money the likes of Liverpool and Man City, when they get back to the Premier League, what kind of money they're going to have in the bank and what they're going to spend. It's all going to turn out to be very interesting, I'm sure. Sorry this episode has run on for so long. There was an awful lot to cover, and I hope you carry on following this series. I mean, I'm enjoying doing it. It's really interesting to see how things turn out, and I really do think there's a lot of twists and turns to come very soon. So I hope you keep watching, guys. And again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Cheerio for now.